Welcome on to another edition of Play It Through, and on this edition it's Kickmaster, brought to us by Taito. A late NES action title, Kickmaster is actually a pretty fun game that I don't think a whole lot of people have heard of. So here we go with Kickmaster for the NES. You can go into the options and see a demo of the kicks that you can pull off, as well as mess with some stuff, but we're just going to jump now into the game, got our opening story before the first level. As we begin, our goal is going to be at least getting to level 2. That allows us to have the moves that we pretty much need to get through the game. When you defeat an enemy, they end up sending items flying, including experience and magic that you can end up picking up, potentially health as well. There's a few different items that represent the experience, so you can kind of get used to which ones are which and go after them, or decide which ones you want to go after. My goal is to level up as quick as I can, so defeat as many enemies as possible during the early levels so that I can have that experience before I get too far into the game. Here we get our first magic orb. I won't really be using the magic orbs much in the game. I'll be using the one that heals you, which is very useful. There's 2 healing ones that I'm going to get. But other than that, I won't really need the magic abilities. You can use regular kicks to take out almost everything else in the game. Just keep working your way over to the right, taking out each and every enemy along the way and trying to grab as much experience as you can. Eventually we'll come to the first boss here. We're going to do our jumps up into the air and kick the boss away from us. You can ignore the other enemies on the ground, just focus on the flying enemy in the air. Just keep delivering your kicks until the boss is taken care of. Level number 2 is this cave here. We're going to start heading to the right side, once again doing what we did before, taking out all the enemies and gaining that experience. Here we've leveled up to level number 1 here, so we have that, which gives us this knee stomp that you can do in the air, which is extremely useful against every type of enemy, as well as bosses in the game, which is one of the reasons why you want to level up as quick as you can. Work your way along these platforms. You can fall down into the water-like thing below, but it'll just end up being a slow movement, and you're already moving pretty slow. Head up here, take care of these enemies along the way, just one by one as you're doing so. Thankfully that drop knee can be used even on these guys. Once you get to the next level, we'll actually be able to do a slide that makes us not only go a lot faster, but also hurts enemies along the way. When you reach the next segment, hold up and attack in order to destroy these rocks and then work your way up. Just have to make your way through the maze-like structures here. At the top here, we're going to drop down. We're going to use our knees to take out some of these frog and other enemies before heading off over to the right side to get to the next boss encounter. For this boss, I'm going to switch over to the health magic that I picked up, so at least I have that in case I do need it. The first part of this boss, we have to deal with a bunch of wolves coming our way. Along with the wolves, you have to deal with the projectiles. Staying along the right side of the screen, a lot of times I can dodge the projectiles and be able to get the wolves into a nice position where I'm actually able to deliver my attacks to them. When they're in the ground like that, it's best to just do your little kick instead of the double knee because you may end up running into them. You want to double knee them near their head instead of the body. Then the second part is very easy. Just stand directly underneath and do jumps and up kicks consistently. Just keep kicking and you'll drain the boss's health in just a few moments. Level number 3, here we go, and we take out the first enemy using that double knee. Climb up here and hit this treasure chest to gain a little bit of extra health. Unfortunately, your health does not get powered back up between levels. For this little mini boss, we're going to jump up here, use our double knee stomps in order to help us. Watch out for the chain that he sends flying down each time. Keep heading to the right. You may want to get the screen to scroll with you correctly, but thankfully it's not too bad just walking along this way. Up here I can grab some extra bits of experience as I'm getting close to that 2,000 mark and thus getting the slide. There we go. And you can see the slide is extremely efficient for dealing with things. You don't have to take out this soldier, you can just knock him back a little bit and then get to the wall yourself and you'll transport to the next screen. Work your way to the bottom, you can just do your slides right underneath and get into the boss chamber. Now for this boss, before he even gets going, I'm going to stun lock him. Yep, stun lock the boss. You can do that pretty easily using that double knee. You just gotta kind of time it where you hit the jump and the knee and just kind of keep going back and forth really quickly, and you can get it where he won't be able to pull off any moves whatsoever. You can do that against a lot of the enemies and bosses throughout the game. That boss in particular is one that I've found that it works really well against. Now, this run of the game, I'm only doing one playthrough, but the game actually features multiple difficulties. Once you complete it once, you can get another difficulty and another difficulty after that. I'm going to switch off, though, to the other health thing, so at least I got the bigger health regeneration now. It costs 90 magic, so I want to always make sure I at least have that 90 magic to use when I need it. Jump very carefully between these platforms. Don't want to accidentally get knocked down into the pit. Here at the end of this area, we're going to jump up and take out another one of these kind of bosses, similar to the one we just dealt with, except they have projectiles. You can stun lock them too, using that double knee, so I'm going to use that as best as I can to take out that boss. And then go right into the next boss. Use the knees, and the boss will eventually fly across the screen. Just wait for it to come back, and then do more knees to it, and repeat the process until the boss is taken care of. Sometimes you're able to get 2 or more knees off if you time it right. Next level here is on this pirate ship. We're going to start doing some slides to get past the first set of enemies. Just keep on sliding as you're working your way through. Here you got a little mini boss we got to deal with. This one always annoys me trying to hit him. I feel on the left side it's easiest, just kind of get over there and wait for him. On the right side you miss more often. It may take a little bit to get him just because of the way he goes. Once he drops, continue over to the right side. And face off against another one of these guys. Watch out for the projectiles they fire out and use those double knees to your advantage and take them out in just a few moments. Slowly make your way over to the right side, doing your drop knees as you're doing it. You can also do the slide if you want. Next up is a giant squid boss. You have to take out the tentacles, so as soon as one shows up, start attacking it. The projectiles falling down from the sky can be extremely annoying, and usually are what ends up causing me the most damage in this boss. So my goal is to defeat these tentacles and the like as quick as I can. Trying to just dodge in between these things can sometimes be very, very difficult. Once the last of these tentacles are destroyed, you can focus on the main body of the squid. Do those jump up kicks like we did against that one boss just a little bit ago. You can see it works pretty well for hitting multiple times sometimes and being able to drain the health. You can still get hurt by the falling projectiles after the boss is defeated, which is very annoying, but so you gotta be really careful even after the boss is done. Onwards to Sector 6. I always like the background during this level. I thought the colors and such were cool. Take out these zombies using the drop knees as you slide across the area. Over here to the right side, deal with more of these guys above us that will be throwing down some lightning bolts, so quickly slide or run underneath of them so you can get past them. Then more zombies on these singular platforms as you're working your way over. Then it's time for the next boss. For this boss, I like to do my slide kick. Wait for the harpies to start sliding on down, and you can do a slide right through them. Once you start getting the battle going, eventually their timing will get closer together, so you can actually slide them both at the same time. You have to be careful of their projectiles. I like to go and do my slide right as their bottom projectile is coming out. That way I slide underneath of it and it doesn't potentially hit me, and I'm able to get my slide off in time to hit them. Once one's taken care of, just finish off the second one, and we're moving on to the next level. Sector number 7 begins, and we're going to start sliding across, face off against this boss, which is similar to that one we dealt with a little bit ago, the lion. It just is a bull that does the same thing. Just do the drop knees every time it dashes across the screen and comes back towards you. Right afterwards, just keep doing your slide again. It's very efficient for getting across this level and getting to the next boss fight, which is against this guy again. Thankfully, this fight's easier this time. You can stay in the more of the middle area and be able to just do your drop knees every time he passes. You can actually hit him multiple times if you time it right. Go back to doing your slide again after defeating the boss. Grab this health though before you continue over to the right and deal with this boss again. We're going to try to stun lock him, but he's able to get away a little bit. He has some pretty devastating electrical moves. This is why I want to get rid of him as quick as I could. He also will dive bomb whenever you go underneath of him. That's when you get your bigger opportunity to go right into one of your knees. Right after he's defeated, you face off against another one of these guys for some reason. Easy fight, but a little annoying fighting another one, and right after that we face off against a clone of ourselves. We're going to make this fight very easy though, just doing the very fast double knees, jumping very quickly and stomping on down, stun locking him, and getting rid of him pretty fast. The next boss is the spider boss. We're going to make sure that we watch out as they come crashing down and deliver our knees as they do come down. This gives you a great opportunity to deliver several hits before they get back up to the top. Just keep getting them to come back down. You can destroy the webs if you want to, but you can just slide underneath of them, so usually I don't bother too much destroying them. Once I deliver the final hit, then grab the orb and move on to the next stage. As we begin, start heading on upwards. Do your drop kicks to these guys and just take them out real quick. Keep on climbing up, watching out for the very annoying projectiles bouncing all around the room. You can take them out if you want to, but either way, they're extremely annoying. Thankfully, jump kicks and the knees do help you take out some of them. Up here, wait for this tornado to show up and then start doing your knees as soon as it gets close. It'll then fly up into the air, throwing down some projectiles at you. Anytime it runs across the screen is a great chance to deliver those drop knees and be able to hopefully avoid most of the projectiles that the boss ends up throwing out. The level is not over though by any means, we gotta continue on. Over to the left side, we're gonna climb on up now. Watch out for all the enemies as you make your way to that top. We're going to ignore those items as we make it to the very top to face off against the next boss. Wait a moment for him to come to you, and then you can just do those jump knees on this platform. Just keep doing them over and over again, and it won't take too long in order to drain all of its health. Work your way up to the next area, watching out, there's lots of enemies as well as some of those annoying spikes kind of coming out of the ground. These enemies throw the projectiles onto the ground and it traces the ground, so it's just extra annoying for sure. Just keep working your way up to the very top. Watch out for the projectiles as they rain on down. When you make it to the top, you'll deal with this guy right here. I'm going to wait for him to kind of come to me and then start doing those drop knees. Thankfully, it doesn't take too many in order to defeat it. At the top, destroy these blocks and then head over to the left side to move on to the next screen. It's now time for the final boss battle of the game. Before the actual final boss, we have to take out 4 of these soldiers. They constantly change shape and form. Just focus on the soldier and doing the drop knees, and you should be able to take them out pretty quickly each. Don't give them too much opportunity to actually do anything to you. Just be relentless with those knees. Once you defeat all 4 of these knights, it's then time to face off against the final boss of the game. For the final boss, as soon as she is down, we're going to immediately do our slide. You can see that that's able to hit at least a little distance away. You can also go into slide kicks, or just the little duck kicks, right after doing a slide. And if you get her in the corner, like this, you can stun lock her. It's hard to do, you gotta kind of like push her over with a slide and then go into it, but you can get the boss stunned like this and just keep mashing the button until the boss is dead, and sit back and enjoy the ending, the Kickmaster, on the NES. So there you have it, Kickmaster for the NES. Like I said, there are multiple difficulties to take on after this if you would like to continue the adventure, but it is pretty much the same game. It's just harder. With that said, though, I'm going to wrap up this episode of Play It Through. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course, I hope you enjoyed.